The world is still quiet when your eyes open. Not silent, but calm in a way that almost feels personal. Like the day hasn't started yet, like life is waiting for your permission to begin. Most people miss this moment. They roll over, grab their phone, and let the world rush in before they've even met themselves. But not you. Not today. Because what if I told you that the first 10 minutes after you wake up quietly decide the direction of your entire life? Not your day. Your life. And most people are losing that battle before they even get out of bed. Marcus Aurelius once woke before dawn, not because he had to, but because he understood something most people never will. He asked himself a question that changed everything: what am I waking up to do today? Not what do I feel like doing? Not what does the world expect from me? But what am I choosing to become today? That question alone separates those who drift through life from those who shape it. And right now, you're standing at that exact line. This isn't just another motivational video. This is a reset point. A quiet decision moment. And if you stay with me till the end, I'll walk you through 7 Stoic principles that don't just improve your mornings, they rebuild your identity from the ground up. But before we begin, I want you to do something simple. Type this in the comments right now: I choose how my day begins. Don't overthink it. Just type it. Because the moment you write it, something shifts. You're no longer just watching, you're participating. And if you're serious about becoming someone who actually lives with intention, not just listens to it, then hit that subscribe button. Not for me, for you. Because what we're building here on Stoic Quiet Strength isn't just content, it's a mindset you return to every single day. Now, let's begin. Number 1, the power of predictable ritual. There's something deeply grounding about knowing exactly how your day will begin. Not in a rigid or stressful way, but in a calm and controlled way. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. They didn't wake up and hope for a good day. They designed one. Epictetus taught, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Your morning ritual is where that becomes real. Think of your ritual like a lighthouse. No matter how chaotic the sea gets, it doesn't move. It doesn't panic. It just stands there, steady, reliable, guiding. That's what your morning should be. A fixed point in a world that constantly changes. And here's the truth most people ignore. Your brain is wired for patterns. If your mornings are chaotic, your mind becomes chaotic. If your mornings are calm, your mind becomes focused. It's not luck. It's programming. When you wake up at the same time, drink water, sit quietly, maybe read a few lines of wisdom, you're not just building a routine. You're training your nervous system to feel safe, grounded, and in control. And that changes everything. But here's where most people get it wrong. They go through the motions, without presence. They're brushing their teeth while thinking about stress. They're sitting in silence while scrolling their phone. That's not ritual. That's distraction wearing a mask. The Stoic way is different. When you drink water, you feel it. When you breathe, you notice it. When you sit, you're actually there. Because presence is what turns simple actions into transformation. And you don't need something complicated. In fact, the simpler it is, the more powerful it becomes. 3 to 5 small actions. That's enough. But done consistently, they change who you are. Day 1 feels forced. Day 7 feels easier. By day 30, it becomes your identity. And here's the part nobody tells you. You will miss some days. You will feel lazy sometimes. You will resist. That's not failure. That's part of the process. The power isn't in perfection. It's in return. It's in waking up the next day and saying, "I'm back." That's discipline. That's strength. So tonight, before you sleep, ask yourself one question. What 3 simple actions will anchor my morning? Not 10. Not 20. Just 3. Keep it simple. Keep it real. And if you're locked in, I want you to write this in the comments. My morning ritual is my foundation. Let that be your commitment. And if you're still here listening, that tells me something about you. You're not just curious, you're ready. So take 1 second, hit subscribe, and stay with me. Because the second principle might be the one that changes everything. Number 2, winning the battle before it begins. Most people think their day starts when they check their phone. That's already too late. By then, the world has already entered your mind. Someone's message, someone's problem, someone's opinion, and just like that, your peace is gone. The Stoics knew this. That's why they trained their minds before engaging with anything external. Marcus Aurelius would sit quietly in the morning and remind himself, "Today I will meet people who are difficult, ungrateful, even rude. But I will not let them control my response." Think about that. He didn't wait for problems to happen. He prepared for them in advance. That's how you win. Not by reacting better, but by preparing earlier. Your mind is like a fortress. Every day, stress, fear, anger, distractions, they all try to break in. If you wait until they arrive, you're already defending. But if you strengthen your mind before they come, you stand unshaken. And here's something simple but powerful. The first thoughts you allow into your mind shape everything that follows. So if the first thing you do is scroll, you're letting the world think for you. But if you sit, breathe, and choose your thoughts intentionally, you take back control. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." The morning is where you break that cycle. Instead of imagining problems, you prepare your response. Instead of worrying, you decide your mindset. You don't rehearse stress, you rehearse strength. And it doesn't take long. 3 minutes. That's it. 3 minutes of sitting quietly and asking yourself, who do I want to be today? Not what do I want to achieve. Who do I want to be? Calm. Focused. Unshaken. Decide that before the world decides for you. And if that makes sense to you, I want you to pause and type this: I choose my response before the world chooses for me. That one sentence alone can change how you move through life. And listen, if this is hitting you right now, don't just watch and leave. Subscribe. Because videos like this are meant to be repeated. Not once. Not twice. Daily. And I've placed a full playlist in the description that will guide you deeper into this mindset step by step. Stay with me, because what comes next is where most people feel uncomfortable, but it's also where real clarity begins. Number 3, the holy hour of silence. There's a reason silence feels uncomfortable to most people. Not because it's empty, but because it's honest. In silence, there's nowhere to hide. No distractions. No noise to cover what's really going on inside you. And that's exactly why the Stoics valued it so deeply. Because in a world that constantly pulls your attention outward, silence pulls you back in. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, believed that wisdom begins with listening. Not just listening to others, but listening to yourself. But how can you hear yourself when your mind is always filled with noise? Notifications, conversations, endless scrolling. The moment you wake up, the world is already trying to speak to you. But the question is, have you taken even one moment to hear yourself? Think of your mind like a still lake. When it's calm, you can see clearly beneath the surface. But the moment you disturb it, with thoughts, worries, distractions, everything becomes blurry. The morning is your chance to protect that stillness before the noise begins. And no, this isn't about complicated meditation techniques. You don't need to sit like a monk or force your thoughts away. This is simpler than that. Just sit. Breathe. Do nothing. No phone, no music, no talking, just you, existing. At first, it might feel strange. Your mind will wander. Thoughts will come. That's normal. Let them pass. Don't fight them. Don't follow them. Just observe. Because over time, something powerful starts to happen. You begin to notice yourself. Your patterns, your emotions, your reactions. And once you can see them, you can control them. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Silence is where that mastery begins. It's where you stop reacting automatically, and start responding consciously. And here's something most people don't realize. Silence isn't a waste of time. It's preparation. When you sit in silence, your mind resets. Your stress levels drop. Your focus sharpens. You're not doing nothing, you're building clarity. Think about it like this. You wouldn't run your phone all day without charging it. So why do you expect your mind to function without stillness? Even 10 minutes, that's enough. 10 minutes of silence can change the way you experience the next 10 hours. But only if you commit to it. So tomorrow morning, before anything else, sit. No distractions. No expectations. Just be. And if you're willing to try this, type it below, "In silence, I find my clarity." Let that be your reminder. And if you've made it this far, I'll tell you something real. Most people won't. They'll click off. Get distracted. Go back to noise. But you're still here. That means something. So don't just listen. Subscribe. Because this isn't just a video you watch once, it's something you return to until it becomes part of you. Now, let's keep going. Because the next principle is where your body joins the process. Number 4, moving with purpose, not pressure. Your body remembers everything your mind tries to ignore. Stress, tension, fatigue. It all sits there, quietly, waiting. And when you wake up in the morning, your body is telling you the truth. Where you're tight. Where you're tired. Where you need attention. The Stoics understood that the mind and body are not separate. They work together. If your body is stagnant, your mind becomes stagnant. If your body is active, your mind becomes alive. Marcus Aurelius didn't just sit and think every morning. He moved. Not to impress anyone. Not to hit a target. But to prepare himself fully, mentally and physically. And here's where most people get it wrong. They turn movement into pressure. They think it has to be intense, structured, or perfect. But the Stoic approach is different. Movement is not punishment. It's connection. It's a way of reminding yourself, I am alive. Even something simple. Stretching your body, walking slowly, moving your arms, taking deep breaths, it matters. Because when you move with awareness, you're not just waking up your body, you're activating your presence. Think about how animals wake up. A cat stretches fully. A dog shakes off sleep. There's no pressure. No plan. Just natural movement. Somewhere along the way, we lost that. We turned movement into something stressful. Something we avoid. But it doesn't have to be that way. Start small. 5 minutes. 10 minutes. That's enough. Move in a way that feels right. And as you do, pay attention. Feel your muscles. Notice your breath. Be present in it. Because that's what makes the difference. Not how hard you move, but how aware you are while moving. Seneca believed that a strong body supports a strong mind. Not for appearance, but for resilience. Because life will test you. And when it does, you don't just need a strong mindset, you need a strong system. And movement builds that system. So tomorrow morning, after your silence, move. Not because you have to, but because you can. And if you're committing to that, type this: I move with purpose, not pressure. Let that be your reminder. And listen, if you're starting to feel this shift, that quiet sense of control, of clarity, don't lose it after this video. That's why I always say, subscribe and stay connected. Because consistency is what turns moments like this into real change. And if you want more of this, there's a full playlist waiting for you in the description. Go through it step by step. Don't rush it. Build it. Now stay with me, because the next principle is one of the most overlooked, but it shapes your entire mindset for the day. Number 5, feeding your mind before the world feeds you. What you allow into your mind in the first moments of your day becomes the lens through which you see everything else. Most people don't realize this. They wake up and immediately consume social media, messages, news, opinions. And without noticing, they've already handed over control. Their mood, their focus, their energy, they shaped them by whatever they saw first. But the Stoics were extremely intentional about this. They didn't start their day with noise. They started with wisdom. Marcus Aurelius wrote his thoughts in what we now call meditations, not for the world, but for himself. Many of those reflections were done in the morning. He was preparing his mind before life had the chance to influence it. That's power. That's discipline. And you don't need anything complicated. One paragraph. One page. One line of truth that actually speaks to you. That's enough. Because it's not about how much you read, it's about what stays with you. Seneca said, as long as you live, keep learning how to live. The morning is where that learning begins. Not in a classroom. Not in a lecture. But in quiet moments where you feed your mind something that strengthens you. Think about it like this. If you start your day consuming negativity, comparison, distractions, your mind becomes reactive. But if you start your day with clarity, wisdom, intention, your mind becomes focused. It's not magic. It's conditioning. There's something in psychology called priming. Whatever you see first influences how you interpret everything else. So if the first thing you see is chaos, you look for chaos all day. If the first thing you see is clarity, you carry that clarity into everything. And this is where you take control. You decide what enters your mind first. Not the world. You. Keep something simple beside you. A book. A quote. Even a note you wrote to yourself. Something that reminds you who you are and who you're becoming. And when you read it, don't rush. Let it sit. Let it sink in. Let it shape your thinking. Because one powerful sentence, truly understood, is worth more than hours of empty content. Epictetus taught, don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. But you can't embody something you haven't reminded yourself of. That's why this matters. That's why the morning is so important. You're not just reading, you're reinforcing your identity. And here's the truth most people won't accept. If you don't feed your mind intentionally, the world will do it for you. And it won't always feed you something good. So tomorrow morning, before your phone, before any noise, give your mind something real. Something that strengthens you. And if you're ready to do that, type this: I feed my mind with purpose. Let that be your standard. And if you've been listening this far, let me say this clearly. You're not like most people. Most people don't stay this long. Most people don't go this deep. So don't treat this like just another video. Subscribe. Because this is the kind of mindset you build daily, not occasionally. And if you want to go deeper after this, check the playlist in the description. It's there for a reason. Now stay with me, because this next principle is where everything starts to come together. Number 6, setting intention, not just goals. Most people wake up thinking about what they need to do. Tasks. Deadlines. Pressure. But the Stoics thought differently. They focused on who they needed to be. Because goals depend on outcomes, and outcomes are not always in your control. But your character, your response, your mindset, that's always in your control. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. As an emperor, he couldn't control everything that happened around him. But every morning, he chose the kind of man he would be. Patient. Just. Focused. Calm. Not, today I must win, but today I will act with integrity no matter what happens. That's the difference. Goals say, I want this result. Intentions say, this is who I am. And when you focus on who you are, your actions naturally align. Think about a compass. It doesn't control the journey. It doesn't remove obstacles. But it always points you in the right direction. That's what your intention does. It guides you. It centers you. It brings you back when things get difficult. Seneca said, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. And most of that waste comes from living without intention. Reacting instead of choosing. Drifting instead of directing. Your morning is where that changes. Before the day begins, you pause, and decide. How do I want to show up today? Not what do I want to get, but who do I want to be? Maybe calm under pressure. Maybe focused despite distractions. Maybe patient with people who test you. That's your intention. And the beautiful part is, no one can take that from you. Life can go wrong. Plans can fail. People can disappoint you. But your intention remains yours. Epictetus spoke about the power of choice. The ability to control how you respond to life. But that power doesn't activate automatically. You have to choose it. And the morning is where you make that choice. Some days you'll follow through perfectly. Some days you'll forget. That's okay. The practice isn't about perfection. It's about returning. Remembering. Choosing again. That's strength. That's growth. So tomorrow morning, ask yourself one question. Who do I choose to be today? And hold on to that answer. And if you're serious about it, type this: I choose my character before life chooses for me. Let that be your anchor. And listen, if you're feeling this shift right now, don't let it fade after this video. That's why I keep saying it: subscribe. Stay connected. Because this isn't something you hear once and master. It's something you practice daily. And there's one final principle that brings everything together. This one changes how you see your entire life. Stay with me. Number 7, gratitude as foundation, not afterthought. Most people only think about gratitude when something goes wrong. When they lose something, when life slows them down, when they're forced to reflect. But the Stoics didn't wait for that. They started their day with gratitude, not because life was perfect, but because they understood something deeper. The way you begin your day determines what you notice in it. If you begin with lack, you'll see more lack. If you begin with gratitude, you'll see more to be grateful for. Marcus Aurelius said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." And remember, this wasn't a man living an easy life. He faced war, betrayal, loss. Yet he still chose gratitude. Not as a reaction, but as a foundation. That's strength. That's perspective. Because gratitude isn't about ignoring problems. It's about recognizing what still remains good. Even when things are hard. Think about two people waking up to the same day. One focuses on what's missing, what's stressful, what could go wrong. The other focuses on what's present, what's working, what's possible. Same day, completely different experience. That's the power of gratitude. And it's not just philosophy. It's practical. When you practice gratitude, your mind shifts. You stop searching for problems, and start noticing opportunities. You become calmer. More focused. More resilient. Seneca practiced something similar. He would reflect not just on challenges, but on what he still had. What he could still appreciate. Because he understood something most people miss. You don't truly value something until you imagine life without it. That's why the Stoics sometimes reflected on loss, not to feel bad, but to feel grateful. To feel awake. To stop taking things for granted. And you can do the same. It doesn't have to be complicated. 3 things. Every morning. But make them real. Not, "I'm grateful for life," be specific. "I'm grateful I woke up with another chance. I'm grateful my body carried me yesterday. I'm grateful I'm here, listening, learning, growing." That's how it becomes real. That's how it stays with you. And here's where it goes deeper. Can you be grateful even for the difficult parts of your life? Not because you enjoy them, but because they shape you. Because they teach you. Because they force you to grow. That's what the Stoics called amor fati, loving your fate. Not just the good, but everything. Epictetus believed that every challenge is training. Every obstacle is an opportunity to practice strength, patience, resilience. So when you wake up, instead of dreading the day, you meet it with readiness. With acceptance. With quiet confidence. That whatever comes, you will handle it. That's what gratitude does. It doesn't change your situation, it changes how you face it. So tomorrow morning, before you step into the day, pause. Breathe. And acknowledge what you have. And if you're ready to make that your foundation, type this: "I begin each day with a grateful heart." Let that be your starting point. Now take a second, and just notice something. You've made it this far. Most people wouldn't. Most people click off halfway, distracted, uninterested. But you stayed. That says something about you. It means you're not just looking for motivation, you're looking for change. Real change. And that's exactly what these 7 principles give you. Not quick fixes. Not temporary hype. But something deeper. Something steady. Something that builds over time. Because the truth is, your life doesn't change in one big moment. It changes in small, consistent decisions. And the morning is where those decisions begin. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, they lived in a completely different world. Yet the one thing they all understood still applies today. You may not control what happens in your life, but you always control how you begin your day. And that beginning shapes everything. Every morning is a reset. A new chance. A new identity waiting to be stepped into. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Today. Right now. And when you combine everything you've learned here, ritual, preparation, silence, movement, mental clarity, intention, gratitude, you don't just improve your mornings. You transform your entire way of living. You stop reacting. You start choosing. You stop drifting. You start directing. And slowly, quietly, you become someone different. Someone stronger. Calmer. More in control. Not because life got easier, but because you got better. The world will always be noisy. Always demanding. Always pulling at your attention. But before all of that, you have this moment. This space. This choice. Use it. Protect it. Build it. Because this is where your power lives. So tomorrow morning, when your eyes open, remember this. You're not just waking up. You're stepping into a new version of yourself. One decision at a time. One breath at a time. One morning at a time. This is how transformation happens. Quietly. Consistently. Powerfully. And if you felt something shift while listening to this, don't ignore it. Act on it. Right now. Type this in the comments: every morning I rise with purpose. Make it real. Lock it in. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Stoic Quiet Strength. Not just to watch, but to commit. Because this channel isn't here to entertain you. It's here to remind you every single day who you are capable of becoming. Like the video if this spoke to you. Share it with someone who needs it. And before you leave, check the playlist in the description. That's your next step. Keep building. Keep showing up. I'll see you in the next one.